Moving on, a group of young Maasai women in Amboseli area of Kajiado County have bravely stepped out of the strict communal norms to conserve wildlife. The women have beaten all the odds to be the first-line defense against poaching and retaliatory killings of elephants, lions, giraffes, and other iconic wildlife that often invade community land along the wildlife corridors. Our reporter Patronila Goren met the women in the neighborhood of the Amboseli National Park along the Kenya-Tanzania border and filed this report.
We met these women in the Kitenden Conservancy, which is one of the 4 conservancies in the outskirts of Amboseli National Park. They are the first all-women ranger unit in the country from the Maasai community, whose main goal is to protect the community that surrounds the park against wild animals attack. The 16 women are among the 69 male rangers tasked with covering 1,473 square kilometers of the conservancies.
I grew up together with the wildlife, so I had that passion, that love towards them. So I even started loving them while I was still young. So for me, getting this chance to protect them, I was very humble and happy and lucky also.
These women are not only expected to protect the wild animals, but also ensure the neighboring community lives in harmony with the wildlife. According to the International Fund for Animal Welfare, IFO, which is one of the largest animal welfare and conservation charities, it is important to involve the community in protecting the wildlife as it assists in reducing human-wildlife conflict.
It's absolutely critical that we involve communities in protecting wildlife and that they see the benefit of protecting that wildlife. I think it's a really great step forward, and it's serving as a model for a lot of other things that we do across Africa.
As the day dawns, the IFO president further states that the inclusion of women in conserving wildlife is key as they make an entire segment of the population in the community. Dons notes that the traditional Maasai woman had been excluded from the conversation surrounding conservation due to the patriarchal nature of the Maasai community.
When I first came to Kenya and we established Team Lioness, I asked the women, what was the biggest change beyond just the work, the daily work? And one of the things that they said to me was, we feel as though we're being listened to for the first time, that we've stepped out of the shadows.
21-year-old Sharon Nankinyan, IFO Team Lioness from the Olulugui community, bravely tells us how she and her team patrol on foot for between 20 and 40 kilometers a day, the same as the male rangers, to ensure that they cover a vast area to create a conducive environment and a good interaction between the wild animals and the community. She says their most important duty is talking to pastoralists who cover a lot of ground with their livestock and encounter wild animals along the way. They monitor animals movement patterns and register their GPS coordinates.
Huwa lazima uwe na GPS, uwe na radio, uwe na notebook na uwe na kalamu. Kwa sasa tuko na mpaka simu ya kuchukua reports. Huwa tunaenda porini, tuna count, kama tukiona grand gazelle ama zebra ama giraffe, huwa tuna count, count zote, then tunazirite. After that tunakuja make baadaye reports tunatuma kwa office.
Tukikuja tunapelekwa porini, tunaonyeshwa jinsi ya kwenda kuangalia wanyama. Tuna record, tunakutana na wanyama, tunawa record. Tunaandika ni wangapi, kama ni elephant ni wangapi.
The Team Lioness says women are considered weak in their community and do not pursue an occupation outside of the family. But the strict rules and hierarchies in the Maasai community are slowly being eased after the team exceeded their expectations. They say other women have shown interest and now want to join them.
Our community initially takes women as very weak people. So the work of a woman in our community was only to fetch water, looking after the babies, milking the cows. So for us coming and doing this, it was very hard for them to believe that we can do it.
Niliulizwa na mwanaume mwingi, sasa nyinyi mnahepaga wanyama aje na venye mko wiki. Mimi nikamweleza kwamba huwa tukienda kuni hatuendagi na nyinyi. So huwa tunaendaga wenyewe. So the same God huwa anatusave kwenda kuni na tuhepane na hizo ndovu. The same God atatusave hata sisi huku porini.
Patrick Papatiti, head of operations in the Olulugui, says women were the big source of information in conservation efforts. Patrick says women have been able to minimize conflict between pastoralists and wild animals in the Risa area of the northern Amboseli Pek.
The base that we decided to have the first team lioness based is where a lot of predation is. Predation is wild cats attacking livestock, wild cats attacking people. And the bigger task was for them to minimize the retaliation and the conflict that will come as a result of that.
But the noble conservation effort comes at a cost. The harsh terrain, stigma from the community, and attack from wild animals notwithstanding. The women rangers say they are driven by their passion for caring for the wild animals and the love for their community.
We were just on our normal patrol, so the buffalo was just hiding behind a small bush. So we just come across it. We are not aware that the buffalo was there, so we all fall down. Others were injured like me. I was also injured, but it was a minor injury. So I was scared, and I on the spot I just decided that no, I will leave this job. What I was told was true. I will be killed here, and my vision will end here. So I came up with that negative thinking, but after that, they told us, no, we must do this. And I also decided that I must do this. I will make sure that I will do it.
Poaching in Amboseli National Park is reported to have reduced significantly, with only a few cases of bushmeat hunting recorded intermittently. Papati says the reduction is attributed to the close-knit nature of the community that assists in identifying strangers firsthand. He further states that there is a future plan to arm the Olulugui Rangers to protect themselves against poachers.
We have a plan maybe in the future to arm not only the women unit, but to arm the whole unit. We will have a few of them trained to handle firearms. We will have the organization work with us to acquire the firearms from the government, who would be the people to provide that. But again, we will have to train them before issuing or even applying for that through the government.
Waliua wakaanika pahali nyama, unajua hawezi peleka yote. Kwanza giraffe ni kubwa, so hawezi peleka yote. So walianika, then kesho yake sisi tukawai hapo na tukawakamata na tukawahandolea KWS.
The women rangers are self-determined to continue pursuing their passion in conservation while encouraging fellow women to boldly take up opportunities that will fulfill their dreams without fear. The inclusion of women in conserving the wildlife is a tactic that is expected to improve a wide range of human-wildlife conflict. Patronila Goren for TV47 in Amboseli.
Those young